What's up, everybody? And listen, today on episode 138 of All in the Delivery, we're talking about people getting jumped in Morgantown. We're talking about these fucking airplanes. We're talking about the USA versus Canada hockey game at the Four Nations. We're talking about union jobs with Amazon departure and the layoffs that's been happening all over the country. We're also going to be talking about, more importantly, working on and off the clock. Or is it on or off the clock? Or on or off? It's going to be a fun one. Anyways, thank you guys for everybody that chimed in on the poll, too, that we posted on our story. We're going to be reading some messages that we got, all that good stuff. But don't worry, we will not mention any names on whose vote. We'll keep your names private. But thank you, guys. Let's get this party going. We got to this one address. I said, this one goes around back. He went around back, drove off, left them right at the stop.
That was after getting hit by a car.
You got hit by a car?
I ended up drinking 24 Bud Lights in about 48 minutes. Drunken nomad stumbles out in the road and he hit me going 30 miles an hour.
What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining us on another episode of All in the Delivery. This is episode 138. But before we get going, got to give a huge shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys so much. This one goes out to Tony, Starla, Sam, Luke, Jacob, and Tyler. And listen, if you want to become a part of the Patreon family, go to the link in the description of this episode. You can also go to patreon.com/AITDpod, and you can come join the family, come join the fun. I know Luke just posted another Legends story. And we also got another phone conversation that we're about to release this week. So a lot of fun things happening over there. So if you were interested, come check it out. Come support the pod. Be a part of the family over there. But enough of that, guys. Let's go around the table, shall we? You guys know him, my co-host down in West Balga, Virginia.
Fuck.
Luke, how are you, brother?
Well, not to give too much away on that phone conversation for the Patreon, but if there was a trademark I would like to fake patent right here, right now. But I would say, out of rage, just to summarize, I could crawl with my dick faster than they could drive in reverse, and I just wanted to say that was just a little tidbit. But aside from anybody that's able to do that, I can't. But I'm good, man. We're recording on a Sunday evening, and I'll tell you what, I'm glad we are, because we got more shit to talk about. We wouldn't have had the hockey game, so I'm fucking stoked, man. I'm excited for this episode. It's gonna be a good one. It's snowing right now. I don't like that, but fucking it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, it was snowing here yesterday afternoon. It stopped, I don't know, this morning at like 10, and now it's been like raining and then freezing rain. So tomorrow is going to be a lot of fun here at work, unfortunately.
Yeah, dude, that's what it's the temperature drop here too, but it was supposed to still be kind of warm now. Fuck it, if it wasn't, it's snowing. So yeah, shit sucks.
Yeah, well, hopefully you don't run into that guy anymore in the Jeep.
Well, yeah, let's hope not. God, that's a cliffhanger. But I'll get into, as you've heard in the opening statements, kid getting jumped in Morgantown. So where I am from, there was an incident that had happened, and it kind of reminded me of something that had happened to me. So it hit me a little fucking near and dear, and not a lot of people. I mean, some people know this because whenever I've said, if anybody ever asked, like, if I've ever got my ass kicked, like really kicked, and I'm like, yeah, Yeah, there was this one time I got my fucking ass kicked, and everybody. And then, so I've told this story before, but never really on the podcast. But anyway, before I get into what happened to me, there's a pizza place up there that is open late night, and people normally, after going to bars, at least it's still like that now apparently. But when I was younger and went up there, that's where you would go. There was other places to go. There was multiple places to go really, but that was just, there was a lot of people downtown. Most of the students, it was just a packed area, so people would get pizza there. So anyway, this kid got he had a necklace that these dudes wanted, just a random assortment of dudes from what I've gathered with it. But it, like, 9 of them jumped this kid, beat the shit out of him. I mean, I'm talking throwing tables, chairs when this dude was unconscious, and he is okay, but he had to spend a few nights in the hospital. He was fucked up. Concussions probably. I'm not sure really what all happened, but there was like one, from the videos I saw, there was one person that kind of did try to break it up. For the most part, people just had their phones out recording it, and that was what kind of fucking, man, there's a whole lot more I could get into with this about one of the people, but I'm not going to do that because this is an episode about that. I'm just going to kind of tell my story with how this shit kind of hits near and dear. And the only thing I'll say about some of these, I say kids, but they were adults. They're college students. They're over 18, so they make their decision. There were some people defending one of them locally because he comes from a pretty prominent family that's wealthy, and it's got the people kind of trying to deflect onto the others, if you will. I don't know what the fuck will happen from this, but when I was 19, I must have been 19 or 20. It was when I was still playing football in college. In my last year, I turned 21 when the season was done, and I was done playing at that point. But I went up to, I was in Morgantown, and I never had a fake ID or anything. So there was a lot of the bars you had to be 21 to get into, but a couple of them you could be 18 and go in. And there was this one, it was called Club Z. So I was in Club Z. There was some friends of mine from the football team, and I was already drinking anyway. And as I've stated in the past, sometimes when I would get drunk, I would fucking wander off, and I was really fucked up. And not really, I don't know if I was as fucked up as I was, more because I feel like I'd sobered up because of the trip up a little bit, and I wasn't like as shit-faced, because I can remember vividly, I was just getting tired. And I was going to walk to a friend of mine's house because I lived local. So I had a lot of friends that went to school up there, that lived there. I was walking to a friend of mine's place, and there was a house party or something. There was a lot of people on the porch that was going on from like up on this hillside, and they yelled at me, and I don't know what they said, but me just being drunk, I flipped them off, kept walking. They were like way far away from me. Well, like 6 dudes fucking come pattering down the steps. And I'm like, oh, good God, this is going to be not good. But remember, I'm playing football at this point, so I'm like 280, fucking squatting like 675. Like, I'm not like, I'm fucking as strong, I'm the peak strength as I ever was. Like, I could throw average sized dudes around pretty easy. So like when they kind of got to me, I fucking knocked a few of them on their ass, but there was a lot, but I still lived at home. So like in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh I can't get my face fucked up. Cause like bruises on my body, I could explain. I could be like, oh, it was football, blah, blah, blah. But if I had like a broken nose or 2 black eyes or something, it would be, so I'm kind of like trying to get away. And I'm sort of able to fight them off. But then there was like a few more that rained down from the porch that joined in. And I ended up basically getting into like the fetal position. It wasn't for very long, but they were just fucking kicking me. And some people just like in a car, I guess were driving back from downtown or riding, whatever it was. They fucking saw kind of how it went down. I guess they stopped, got out, and it fucking de-escalated. They broke it up. They got. Nothing. I didn't break anything. Nothing ever came of it. This was a night. I went home. Well, I made it to my buddy's house. Went home the next day, but it was just a thing that I was just like, man, it's such a different time because complete fucking strangers like came to my aid, and now you're just seeing people. I don't know how I would have reacted in that moment. I would have tried to have stopped. I mean, dude, this kid was, when I say he was motionless, and they're throwing chairs on his head. Like, it was bad.
Yeah.
And, yeah, just kind of fucking, I just don't
It's
like.
unfortunate, like, this generation.
Dude, right? They're just going to record
That's the
it
first thing they think of
Yeah, just stick their
is
fucking
pulling out your
phones
phone. Like,
It's terrible, dude.
what happened to being a good fucking citizen? You know what I mean?
Like, I don't know. There was a lot of girls in there. There's a lot of females in there, and I wouldn't expect, like, these are all fucking college dudes, so I wouldn't expect, like, I don't know, it was just a fucking crazy situation to watch. I'll have to try to show you some of those tapes, but anyway, you know me, getting on Facebook groups, finding out stuff, and just causing arguments, but that could be 45 minutes in its own.
Finding Facebook groups and then causing arguments and then getting kicked off Facebook groups.
But they're not kicking me off because I'm on most of them are on my side, so they're actually not censoring me
There
for
you
a change.
They're not sensitive? Is that what you said?
They're not censoring me for a change.
Oh. And they're not sensitive.
And they're not sensitive. Well, some of them are, but yeah, So yeah, there's a fun fact many don't know. I've been jumped once in my life. That's made it out all right.
That's good.
Didn't get the face too fucked up. I don't have the big mustache to hide any scars or anything.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, it's unfortunate. Like, this generation, just first thing they think about is pulling out phones and sending their video to wherever. Like, it's just.
I know, dude.
God,
it's so weird how it's truly, it makes me realize that it's totally a different generation now. But yeah, I don't know much more about it, but man, it's just crazy that they got arrested. Some, like I said, the one kid, I don't really know a whole lot. It all just happened. So
right.
Hopefully justice happens and they don't fucking, because that was bad. I'll have to show you anyway. We can move on now. I wanted to
no doubt
share that not so fun fact.
Totally. Yeah, you've had an interesting week though. You've seen some shit recently too, if you will, out there in your area, like out of nowhere. And it's funny because I even said to you, because we were on the phone, of course we were, because I even said to you, like, this is the first time I've heard you ever talking about these airplanes.
This is the fucking craziest. So,
and I mean, especially with like now, like what's been going on with like, all these airplanes and shit like that recently, the past few weeks. It's like, and now you're all of a sudden you're starting to see these.
So I'm on the, like, we're so there's a regional airport that when I deliver in one spot of my route, there's a regional airport that it's like a beeline of the landing strip and where planes will go, and it's just a lot of times it's like regional flight planes. God, I'm sorry, my throat is dry and I apologize because I'm kind of
right.
I was feeling fucking kind of fucking. I don't want to say I was feeling sick. God, it's not even Monday yet. Can't be having that shit. But congested maybe. But anyways, I like there are commercial flights that fly in there, but I feel like they land. They're a lot higher when they land, and they're not as low. And I don't know if it was because it was just fucking cloudy or whatever, but. I'm in the fucking truck looking for this stop, and I mean, I can hear this plane, and it's fucking loud. And it's, like, loud enough to where it fucking vibrates the top of the fucking roof. It's plastic anyway, but I was just like, what the fuck? And I got out and I look and there's just this fucking plane. And it was a military plane because it was green, but it was fucking full size, whatever. And it was fucking, I'm just like, good God, that thing was huge. That thing was flying low, obviously landing there. And then literally within the span of me delivering in this development, probably like 5 more came. And a couple of them were on that, coming from that same direction, low as fuck. And the other 2 were kind of far away, but they were on like coming from different sides. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but Dave has this app that you can track flights, and I guess
Flight
military
radar.
flights. Flight radar.
It's
and
called
you
flight
couldn't
radar.
see shit.
Yeah.
There was nothing that he could see. I don't know what
There was
the fuck
nothing around you,
going
which
on,
means
but-
it's probably what am I trying to say? It was probably military. But that's usually what happens with those.
But
They
dude,
usually don't have
it
their
was
stuff on.
it was fucking crazy because they were just they were flying so low, and I was like, dude, it should, like, I don't know what the fuck it. We were talking about this, and I don't want to really go too far into it but everybody, we were talking about, like, with 9/11, how it's kind of nuts, and like just how the building like swallowed, like, because I like just seeing the plane that I saw, how low, and like you just see how fucking big those things are. Not saying it like we're not trying to fucking spark conspiracies or anything like that, so it's not trying to be, it was an observation. I mean, anybody, most, obviously has seen the footage of that, and it's fucking crazy just because that thing's rattling the top of my fucking truck roof, and I'm looking at it like fucking shit in my pants. I was walking around like Ray Liotta in Goodfellas, looking at helicopters. That's all I was doing. I was delivering. I had this oversized fucking box. The thing weighed like 120 pounds. I didn't want to put it up by the front door, and it's people that I delivered to that work at this pharmacy I deliver at as well, and I'm like getting their Ring doorbell, and they're talking to me, and another one of those, that was at that time one of those fucking planes flew, and I'm like, jeez, there's another, like, I'd say they're probably just wondering what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I went like away from the Ring doorbell to 15 feet into the yard, just looking up, like, what the fuck's going on? Like, oh, sorry. And then they opened their garage door, and it worked out. But yeah, it was fucking crazy, dude. 5 or 6 at least, within like 25 minutes. So I don't know what was going on West by God, but something was brewing.
Damn. Yeah, dude, that's always crazy when you see shit like that, like out of nowhere, and you're not used to it. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
And I wouldn't have, like, the other, like, the planes, the one looked black, like completely black. I saw green and black, and the other 2 were too far, or like 3 were too far away for me to really see a distinctive color. But those 2 that flew like over, I mean, they were low enough. It was fucking cloudy that day, so I don't know, maybe they were just lower than normal, but yeah, gave me the heebie-jeebies, man. I didn't like it. Hopefully It's not a fucking habit. Hopefully it's not going to be a reoccurring thing.
Yeah, exactly. But dude, so I mean, obviously military, you think of, like, America. And speaking of America, you got the USA versus Canada hockey game for the Four Nations face-off is what they're calling it, where it's USA, Canada, Sweden, and Finland. It's the best on best, literally best players from the countries playing against each other. And obviously the most popular one everybody was looking forward to was USA versus Canada. And that happened this past Saturday night. USA ended up winning 3-1. And crazy stat here. It's the first time in 15 like nation competing games, if you will, 15 games of full, like, nation on nation competing hockey. First time Sidney Crosby's ever lost at, like, international like level game.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. I mean, that's a crazy stat. I mean, Sidney Crosby just wins. Like the first time he played in the Olympics for Canada, he scored the game-winning goal for the gold medal.
For fucking
and
ever, too.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's got this weird superstition where he's had his same shoulder pads that he's worn since like juniors, since like the OHL, which is called the Ontario Hockey League, and so he's had these same shoulder pads. I'm sure he's had them restitched many times and stuff like that. But like he still wears the same shoulder pads that he's worn since he was in the OHL. And crazy enough, the newest star in the league, his name's I wanted to say Connor McDavid, but it's not Connor McDavid. It's Connor Bedard, who is for the Chicago Blackhawks. Young kid. Mm-hmm. He's been wearing those pads since before Bedard was born. And this kid now plays in the NHL. Wild stat. But anyways, yeah, I mean, people who were there who went to see the game at the Bell Center in Montreal, because that's where they were playing, they paid tickets to go see a hockey game, but instead they saw a fucking Royal Rumble in the first 2 minutes there of the game. There was right off puck drop, right off the puck drop. There was one fight that broke out, and then that was by a player named Brady. That was a player named Matthew Tkachuk, who plays for the Florida Panthers. And then the following puck drop after that, another fight breaks out. And it's Matthew Tkachuk's brother, Brady Tkachuk, who plays for the Ottawa Senators. And fun fact about them for people who don't know, but their father, Keith Tkachuk, used to play in the NHL back in the late 80s, early 90s. And that dude was a mean machine. Like Keith Tkachuk was known to do this. And so I can imagine being a dad and just watching both of your sons, one bam, bam, right after each other, just drop the gloves and start fighting. Like knowing like that was his legacy.
He was probably shaking his head. He's probably, that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
Like
Sorry, it was funny because a reporter actually asked Keith Tkachuk about it. It was like, what was your feelings, when you saw both your sons, Brady and Matthew, drop the gloves? He was like, those two are lunatics. So it's like, he's totally enjoying it for sure. But yeah, dude. I mean, hey. Because of that win, USA now moves on to the championship game, which is being played in Boston, actually, at TD Garden in Boston. And so they're going from Montreal, they're going from Canada to the U.S. to play the championship game.
Who won between Finland and Sweden, or has it happened yet?
So all of those guys are tied with points. So it's literally like anybody's game between Finland, Sweden, and Canada. The USA is the only one that has not lost a game yet.
Oh, so they could play Canada in a rematch then.
Yes, which is obviously, honestly, what everybody wants. Because that would be that would be insane.
Well,
that would be intense to watch.
I think it was...
championship game, that championship game's actually this Thursday, if anybody is interested in watching it. So if you're listening on today, which is Monday the 17th, this game's happening this Thursday, which is the 20th.
Well,
so
this is what I wanted to ask you about, because we didn't talk about this before we went on. So this is going to be organic responses, because I mean they dropped the gloves fast, and everybody said it was because the crowd was booing the national anthem, but I don't know if that is because they were playing in Montreal. I don't take any offense to that, or is it a thing for them to not boo during a national anthem? Is that supposed to be?
I mean, they usually don't.
Oh, they usually don't. Oh, fuck.
No.
Well,
no.
I didn't think like I was getting more mad at U.S. citizens that I was seeing complain about it, because I'm like, you can't cheer for your own fucking country. Okay, so this is a disrespectful thing. Okay.
Oh yeah, this is full.
All right.
Yeah, this is full disrespect to the U.S. obviously with everything that's happened politically.
I didn't want to fucking.
Like,
I didn't know 100. Like once I knew it was played in Canada, I was thinking like Rocky IV, hostile situation, fucking thing. But I didn't.
Right.
Sorry. So yeah, I mean, apparently, obviously, it pissed them off, and they fucking fought over it. But
and I mean, like the intensity behind that too. Like everybody knows USA versus Canada. It's always the big game.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the big one that's going to be played. So I'm sure I heard the crowd was electric even before puck drop. The crowd was electric, and like I'm sure the players felt that, and to just kick it off that way with a fight, like they knew what they were doing.
So let
to
me
get
ask
the game
you,
even more amplified.
Let me ask you, this is your response, because in my opinion, of those three fights, I thought, I don't know if the first dude won his. That second brother definitely won that second.
Oh, he was
match.
Unloading.
But the first one, I don't know. I mean, I felt like it was kind of close.
Fair.
But then because that Canada dude fell on top of him, the crowd went nuts, and I was like, oh, and I was like, man. But I kind of thought that it was. I don't know the Canadian, or I don't know the hockey fucking culture that hard. I should have not assumed that would be a thing to boo that hard. I guess I didn't see that, so they did boo like bad. Was it like?
Yeah, and even though they've literally, the announcer at the arena was like, please respect, the national anthems, and like
That's 3 fights in 9 seconds. That's fucking awesome.
And then the boos start raining down and shit, which is unfortunate, and I mean, even the players hate it. Like the players are like why? Like why? You know what I mean? Like
I fucking. Yeah, I would. I'm glad it fucking went just to stand ground. I like that. It shouldn't be with sport, dude. I made a fucking thing about this because I had to make an Insta story about this because I made a Facebook post about the score and everything. I said fucking they found. And then one of the people I know that, like I said, is from here and was like, I'll cheer for Canada over the U.S. at anything anymore. I'm like, would you have said that a year ago? I don't know. You're gonna let politics fucking play? Like fucking let sport fucking be. Support something. You can't fucking hate your fucking, like, people just fucking hate this fucking, like, I get the fucking angst of the election, and there's a lot of people pissed off. I'm not talking about anything. I'm not trying to fucking put a policy in front of you or anything. I'm not getting into that. But I'm saying with sport, I feel like, dude, it's 4 nations.
Just let sports
fucking
be.
let it be, man. Support your fucking. Like I said, those hockey players don't fucking run the fucking. They don't make the fucking rules you may or may not like. So fucking don't let cheer on your fucking. Dude, what happened to being supportive of fucking Team USA if you're from here? Instead of shit. Like, that's what I was kind of mad at. But then, but anyway, 3 fights in 9 seconds right out of the gate. Fucking awesome.
Insane.
And they won 3-1. Let's have a fucking rematch. Let's do it.
I hope to God that's the championship game, USA versus Canada, because that is going to be ridiculous. So, I mean, it was literally like how long I've been watching hockey for, since I was in fucking like 6th grade. I've been watching hockey since like the late 90s. Like, that was probably the best, like, electric, intensifying game I've ever watched. Like, it was just straight fire, bro. Like, that was, God.
So
good.
So
good.
When do they do? How often do they do this?
They don't usually do it too often, and unfortunately, Russia's not a part of it for specific reasons, obviously. So, which is unfortunate, just like it was in the Olympics. You know what I mean?
Because they've always had nasty hockey teams.
Oh yeah, and I mean, who wouldn't love to see Alexander Ovechkin like out there? Fucking the dude's about to break fucking Wayne Gretzky's record, bro, for like most goals by a player. He's like 16, 15 away, I think.
No shit.
Like, he's gonna break it this season, which is insane. He's gonna have the most goals ever scored by a player in the National Hockey League. He's about to break the Great Ones record, which is funny because they call him the Great 8, and they spell great GR8 because he wears the number 8. So literally, like, Ovechkin's disgusting at hockey, and like, it's unfortunate that we don't get to see him on this stage, but Anyways, fucking go USA.
Fuck yeah.
So
I just saw that South Park song. America, fuck yeah.
fuck yeah. I'll let you take over this one. I mean, I guess I could start it. Because we've seen it through.
Go ahead and start this.
Yeah,
one.
we've seen it through the TikTok video that we posted on there recently about how UPS and Amazon and Carol Tomei and cutting back 50% of Amazon's work that UPS will be getting, and what a lot of people were saying in the comments of that video was how they've already seen the layoffs happen at their centers, and then I've even seen other things like centers shutting down and all this. And I know Luke and I talked last week about Carol as a CEO of Home Depot, or as a CFO of Home Depot, and really building them up. But what I see her here now at UPS as a CEO is you see that she only cares about the profits, the investors, doesn't care about us, doesn't give a shit about you, doesn't give a shit about me. And that's tough to see, because I mean that legitimately worries me personally. And it's just like cutting. I mean, automation happening in buildings right now. Shout out to Fitz in Boston. Like he said, his preloads like fully automated, even though a couple of their robots are broken. But what else is not broken at this company? So it's it's like you see it happening, and you see people getting laid off, and especially the preloaders with automation and stuff, and them getting ran out of jobs and shit. So the layoffs are happening already all over the place. And I know Luke specifically has a story towards this one. So
yeah,
I'll let you take it over.
We have, excuse me, we had our bottom 5 drivers now are, I don't know how long it'll be for, especially now that we're getting weather. Sure, the snowflake crew is going to be calling off. But yeah, our bottom 5 are laid off, so they'll go back to the preload or local sort, and then that'll ruffle that up for people. And so yeah, they I don't know really a lot about it, but I just know that, I mean, they offer a lot of layoff days. They have last year, like, to me, for a while they called like every day for a while. And God, it was like, so I'm talking like every Friday. It was insane. And so now I guess they're probably not going to call as many times. Not that I ever took many, because being Ashley, stays with Willow for the moment. So I'm the sole income of the household for now. So yeah, I don't miss too many. Like, you miss enough, they add up. And
yeah,
they're nice to have. They're nice to have, but yeah, it's I don't like it. I'd rather have everybody working if I could. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's weird because is it already? I mean, are we going to say that this is directly with the Amazon stuff? I mean, I feel like we've been kind of light here.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's funny. Last month we weren't because of SurePost,
Right,
but now it seems like it's like SurePost is done. And like what? Like it's still there, but we went from having like a lot of volume, and like I can't judge that like a lot of other places, or like because we had a fucking snowstorm for the whole month, so I can't accurately judge here. But it seems like it's like I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of leveled off quick.
Yeah.
At least in our centers.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I feel like that just goes with. I mean, they're literally doing like anything they can. I feel like to just get rid of people right now, and so I don't know if that means like we as Teamsters and as union members need to take a stand with certain things. Like, I'm talking like file every fucking grievance kind of thing.
It-
You know what I mean?
It's one of those things where I think,
Like, just to fire back, I feel like.
well, you can, and I'm not saying it's not always welcome, because that's completely within your rights to do as a Teamster, and if they violate anything you can file on, fucking file away.
Yeah.
I think the big picture of things, though, is that it decreases the number of, you know what I mean? It overall, really, it still kind of feel like weakens it, because it makes the number smaller of union members. If people are getting, if they're shrinking that number, there's going to be smaller, numbers with the next contract negotiation.
Yeah.
And I think that's stuff that we can't really. I mean, that we were speaking about, like, with we spoke about it last week's episode about with Carol Tomei and what she did at Home Depot, and how her focus isn't necessarily us, because her focus is cutting costs and trying to say, like, and I said corporate, and it's not just us, it's corporation 101. They don't give a shit. So if they could decrease like 25% of the jobs by, like, I'm still so curious how the next contract negotiation is going to go, because I feel like the cat's so fucking out of the bag now. Like, what are you going to do? Be like, hey, we're going to take it to the streets. Be like, are we? Are we? Yeah, doesn't fucking. I don't think this one's going to shine as much as it did without a pandemic. To fucking. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So, speaking of crazy stuff just going on, this is going to be the big topic here tonight, I think. And this one was brought to us by past guest Kim Basavi, who we've had on. And shout out to her for sending this our way, so we can talk about this. But she sent me a screenshot that happened on a Facebook group, on Teamsters UPS News Facebook group. Says, from an anonymous participant, says, on Friday, we came into work and all computers were turned off. We couldn't look at our routes. We then found out that our union doesn't want us, quote unquote, working before our start time. So they basically forced management to turn the computers off because that was considered working off the clock. When we got back at night, all the computers were gone. We are now coming into work not knowing what our routes look like. 95% of us drivers are upset because we didn't ask for this. And when we asked the union rep why they are doing this to us, they said because that's considered working off the clock. They don't even want us clocking in until 9 o'clock. I'm assuming that's their start time. 9 o'clock, meaning they don't even want us grabbing our dyad until it's time to clock in. Is anyone else's union doing this?
Dude, I'm just going to say with my opinion on it first, because there's going to be answers on both ways of this.
Yes,
There are people I know that have gotten. I did compliance training not too long ago, and Dave Center doesn't do that. I'm sure other centers do and some don't. It's one of those things where I have to show up an hour early, and I watch a video and take a test, answer questions, that shit. Now, it's the same video every year, one of those things. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, you know exactly the video I'm talking about, because for me, 17 years, that fucking thing stayed the same.
Yeah.
But when I go to work, it's like clockwork. I'll show up an hour early, and there are drivers that are there, and they're not working. They're just, some of them drop their kids off at school and just come straight to work. Others just fucking get there that fucking early just to bullshit. I don't understand it. I fucking wouldn't. And this was pre having Willow. I just never could justify being there that early. Just to be like, I try to get there myself like 10 minutes, 10-ish.
Yeah.
And but for me, I feel like this is the part where this is going to fucking anger some of the union. I mean, we all deal with people that I think for cover drivers, this fucking sucks. People that don't run it the same route, that's going to fucking be terrible for them. I think it's fucking stupid. And then,
especially because we don't have map nav anymore, or the fucking map function anymore, so you can't even see it anyways.
But then to say that, like, I think there's also a side of this that I wouldn't mind them doing away with that, because then that would eliminate fucking drivers looking at other people's shit and then bitching to management about why they don't have this or this and that.
God damn, it's so true.
That would fucking eliminate that shit, which would be a plus. But it would be unfair to the drivers that are cover drivers and don't run the same shit every day. Like for me, I walk by my truck every day. I put my backpack in. I step in and I look. I don't sort anything. I don't touch anything. I glance at a couple shelves just to see if I have any, what I like to call runners that are not close to my normal area, and that's normally it. And if that's considered working off the clock, then fucking I'm not a big fucking fan of authority 100% anyway. I play along to get along in a lot of ways, and I'm always going to take the union side, because I know on the end, I'm not going to fucking abandon ship or switch teams here. But just be honest, there's a lot of shitty things that, like, that would be. There's a lot of drivers that will complain when they look at other people's stuff. And I'll see, I mean, we have like 2 computers where we're at, and people look at them. I don't think it hadn't changed here. But, I mean, we did get a lot of responses on the podcast page. So this was a hot topic.
Absolutely. So we're going to dive in a little bit here. So, again, like I said at the top of the episode, thank you to everybody that chimed in with the voting on the poll. Right now, it sits at 62% says no, that's not working. That is it working off the clock is basically what I asked. And 65% said no, it's not working off the clock. 38% said yes, it is. Sorry, 62%. It just went up one. Did I say 62%? Or did I say 61? I don't remember.
I can't remember.
62% said no, it is not working off the clock. 38% said yes, it is working off the clock.
I mean, you could say that it is technically, but I mean, fuck. If you're not physically touching boxes, I feel like it's just not for that union, just think of cover drivers, man. So you want them to wait till 9 o'clock to then find out where the fuck they're at. To come in like right when they're getting started.
So this is where one of the messages we got made a good point. It says they said once you log into your board, you should be getting paid 30 minutes of prep time, 30 minutes before shift every day. Park your car, getting your diad, getting truck keys, talking with soups, looking at the computer, etc.
I'd be down for that. Getting paid for 30 minutes prep time would actually give you a reason to show up early.
Yeah, imagine having all your drivers there early. Sheesh. I mean, that's a good point.
But I guess
this person said
that was flexible.
I know.
Like if you showed up 10 minutes early, and that's 10 minutes prep time. That's 10 extra minutes. Fuck it, That'd be.
Yep. This message said, looking for my name on a route? No. If I see my name on a route, I should grab the appropriate board, punch in, and then look at the route details on the clock.
I mean, they're not wrong with that. I just feel like there's going to be, people. I don't look at my shit a lot of times because I don't I don't use a driver pouch anymore. I just fucking don't wear a belt. So a lot of times but I'm also have my own route and I kind of know what I'm doing.
Yep.
I'm going back to the cover drivers on that one.
This message says it's the exact same thing as walking into your truck and just looking around.
Yeah.
Looking at your route on the computer is the same exact thing as walking into your truck and just looking around.
Yeah, not touching anything.
This one says, I'm not picking up my call tags until after the PCM.
I mean, again, that's technically the right answer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. This is the thing, though. I wouldn't. If I saw somebody pick up their call tag 5 minutes before PCM, I wouldn't be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Because I don't look at it that big of a
This
deal.
person says, this is an argument I'm having with my management and management in different states for my buddies. Says, so for swing drivers especially, we don't know what route, just like you were talking about, Luke, we don't know what route, how many stops, etc., what we are doing. So having to figure out what route and collecting information on that route is literally working. Even then, all drivers need to check if they are in the same bay as the route, but also their air and the computer isn't fully accurate until all the trailers have been unloaded and scanned. So what if you need air help or there's an area that's not yours that needs to be moved? You then have to go to management and figure those things out. Problem solving about a route is part of our job, so it's working.
So, is that technically work? What? Hold on. So is that?
No,
is that
like they were
working
just making
really?
good points. You know what I
Okay.
mean? About
Okay.
like, why we should be allowed to look at the computers. Basically what you were talking about, how with swing drivers, with cover drivers, that, they don't know what route they're going to be on until that
You
morning.
shouldn't. I think you shouldn't. Like, I mean, like with ours, you can it just shows everybody's stuff at the top. Like you don't have to. You can click on the name and the route, and it'll show the whole route. But you can see stop counts and pickups playing on a main screen. So I feel like you walk by and just glance at that. Fuck,
Right.
So you can see your neighboring route have 30 less stops than you, or maybe you got 30 less stops than him. I don't know, but I don't see any harm in that.
God damn it. This last one here, this person said, I'm astonished at this poll. It's a part of your workday. Can't believe 60-something% said no. It is now my firm belief they would cross a picket line.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh boy.
So,
What a good topic.
is checking your route on the computer working off the clock? I mean, to me, I would say yes. I mean, I think it is.
It technically is.
Because
it is.
That's UPS property.
yeah, it technically is.
Like that, the board, the call tags, that's all UPS property that you are now gathering when you're off the clock.
But for them to want to say punch in right at 9 p.m., those boards sometimes take more than a minute to fucking punch in. So what if they punch
Especially
in?
when it asks to reset your UPSer's password.
Yeah, dude. So what happens then? You're like, oh, you punch in at 9:02. Up, you're late. Fuck you. Fix my time card. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I just think that to the minute is a bit fucking extreme. I get it. I understand the technicality of it, but fuck. Don't sort your truck. Don't do shit. There was people I know, dude, that used to do that shit. When I preloaded, dude, there were times, I swear to God, they had to quit doing it. I preloaded long enough. I saw this in cycles. I used to see drivers come in at fucking 7 a.m. and sorting their shit around.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously off the clock. And I saw that plenty and get shut down, and it would happen again eventually and get shut down. But yeah.
Same. And what's so weird to me that I never understand is when we go and grab our board and enter our ID, enter our password, now authorizing, you're now authorized to punch in or whatever the hell it says. I never understood why technically we are not on the clock at that moment.
Yeah.
I just fucking hit punch in. I should be now on the clock.
Yeah. If it's 8:57 or whatever, you should, I get it.
Yeah, And then you get people you see somebody working or a driver moving boxes or something before even the PCM. And then, you got to be like, dude, are you on the clock?
If the preload's wrapped up and you get your board, if you show up early and get your board, and if the preload's wrapped, your route's going to be available unless they don't release it. If they wanted to be that stingy about it, they could just not release the route. until 9 p.m. or right at their start time. But I think that will definitely vary center to center and local to local. But there's definitely I would understand the people that said no.
Right.
Yeah, technically it is working off the clock. But I think it's just one of them things like they might not look at it as a big deal. Because that part I get too. Like it's not, but I don't know. That was another. Honestly, I was worried about the fucking strike, dude, because I thought, at that time, it's like, it was still just like it is. Fucking prices, shit's expensive, inflation's high, man. It's like fuck. I didn't want it to go to that because I thought, dude, if push came to shove, after a few weeks, I had kind of a mini sort of run myself with Willow was born, because we don't get in this state, we don't get any percentage of our paycheck we get the time off with FMLA, but we don't get any money for time off. So I knew that was, I took like 5 weeks. I remember thinking like, this thing goes like a month, I can make it. But I was thinking if it would have went like fucking a month and a half, 2 months, man, it would have been fucking tough. It'd have been tough.
And reading a couple other comments under that post, actually, this one says, I always check to see when I'm on. Maybe this is a way for drivers to stop bumping too, which is something you said too, Luke.
Oh, yeah.
I love to see where my errors are and if there are any glitch stops on my route. I don't think of it as working on the clock, but for them to be fine is stupid because you could check after you punched in. Right. And then another one underneath says, and then management complains and says that we aren't allowed to look at our routes on the computers after the PCM because it's also known as AM time.
Yeah.
It's that guy's got a point too.
Yeah, he does.
Stupid. It's like,
I don't know. That was good. I'm glad Kim fucking brought that one to us. That's a good topic.
Is it working off the clock or not? Oh man, that's a good one. All right, let's get to the question of the week, shall we? So,
holy shit.
Let me get out of all those other messages. Here we go.
Dude, we got a lot. Thanks for this one. Thanks for participating, everybody.
Hell yes. Thank you, guys. If you want to participate in the question of the week, follow us on Instagram at AITDpod. You can see we post the question of the week every week, usually on Tuesdays, but we were a little tardy this past week, and glad everybody was still able to respond and get it in here. So, this question of the week this week is, from a driver's perspective, what's the do's and don'ts for a preloader? So, if you're a preloader listening to this, listen up.
Take some notes.
Listen closely. This one is from the Henry Film Co. Says, not sure if this is the answer you are looking for, but I am always kind to my preloaders. I watched the driver be shitty to his preloader. The next day, the loader loaded his entire truck backwards. Air in the back, dump stops in the front. It was awesome.
Just by at the end
we've heard of that too from some of the guests we've had on. Like, we've heard stories about loaders doing this.
Oh, dude, if I got a warning letter for load quality from a fucking driver, dude, I loaded that truck like shit the next day. I did the same thing.
Yep, that's just true. This one here is from our one and only DHL driver, Rick Star. Rick says, don't have an answer myself, but my buddy, who is a preload manager here in San Diego, told me when he tried to recruit me for preload that all I have to do is show up on time, be fast, do the work correctly, and don't get involved in management's business.
Well, I mean, your preload manager friend is definitely speaking like a manager, Rick, but he's not he's not wrong. That would get you. You'd be all right preload. Just keep your head down and fucking work quick. It's true.
Yep. This one here is from Gimme More Cosplay. What's up, More? Gimme More says, write the HINs on the box in big numbers and clearly too. That's the spot label, right? Write the numbers, the shelf location on the box. Now, also, if I have only 70 packages, please, before you leave, push them all to the front. There's no reason by the end of your shift. I have a big, massive gap in the middle of my shelf, and you know how many packages I'm getting. Valid point. Make it tight.
Very good point. It's true.
Also goes on to say, tip for the drivers for their preloaders. Don't leave your piss bottles in the truck for preload to deal with. I've heard too many stories about preload dumping the piss bottles all in the cab of the truck and all over the seat.
Well,
we've heard that story before too.
Yep, because that, again, it happened. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. Let me tell this real quick. I'm guilty.
Fuck.
Yeah, because there was a piss bottle that was continuously. I threw it away myself like 3 times.
Continuously reloading.
Continuously reloading, and it was always on the 1,000 shelf, and it was just fucking up there. And I mean, so I like, dude. So finally, one time, I just got fucking pissed, and I dumped that motherfucker. Yeah, I did. I dumped it. I dumped it on the fucking seat, and then I threw the bottle away and laughed. So I've done that, but it took me, dude. It was like 3 strikes, you're out, man. I was done.
Sure.
But yes,
it wasn't the first time yet.
I just incriminated myself, but statute of limitations, that was a long ass time
Fuck.
ago. That I'm pretty sure I still work with that guy.
Fuck.
All right, this next one.
Sorry if your pants still smell like piss. Sorry.
God damn it. This one's from Daniel the Warrior. Says, definitely got a lip load. Spread it out on the shelf. No stacking. Easy money. And I'm sock checking you foos.
Nice.
Spread it out on the shelf. Interesting that we just had one that said tight it up, like move them all together.
This is the other thing too about being a longtime preloader, and I feel like if you talk to different drivers have different ways they like certain shit. 100%. I think for the most part, like nobody wants all their shit shoved to the front, especially if you have space. Like, right. Everybody, I think, would unanimously agree with that. But everybody kind of does it in a different. But yeah, I tried to always listen to my drivers. That one, I mean, the piss bottle one, just to be fair with everybody, I don't think I dumped the whole thing on there, but I did sprinkle a little bit on there to make it enough to where he think maybe they just left the door open and it might have been rainwater. But
This one is from Girl Dad 8704. Says, do not move my hand cart. Other than that, could care less I can fix on route. But my preload is awesome. Not hard to load. 140 packages or so daily.
Yeah, then Starla, yes, she replied to that. The load around it, like load around it. Jeez, I love it.
Load around the hand cart, absolutely.
Yep.
This one here is from Starla. Says, for the love of God, please group bulk stops together.
Yeah, that can be when you deliver like 30 boxes and have 28, then you find the other 2. That can be annoying.
Yep. This one here is from our Patreon subscriber, Luke at That Dude Luke and Me. Says, my preloader is awesome. Puts all the hins in numeric order down to the last number. If it doesn't fit on the shelf, even when my truck is floor to ceiling, I know the package is on the floor under the shelf or directly in front of it. When I don't have my loader, half the time I get this guy that admits to being this. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I get this. God damn, this is going to be a bad turnout. I can see it already. I get this guy that admits to being dyslexic and only taking his ADHD meds half the time. That guy might put up 4,000 on the 4,000 shelf, or it might be between the 1,000 and 5,000s. God, it's hit or miss with him. Jesus Christ.
I love the fucking
Fuck.
That deserves one of those.
Oh, God. He admits
This one
to
here-
it at least, I guess. Fuck, you got this offense to blow, but that's funny. I'm sorry, God.
This one here is from Lars. What's up, Lars? I am Lars. Says, for God's sake, put the label facing up or remove the PAL label and put it so I can read it without flipping the box over. I agree. It's either should be up or facing the bulkhead door. That's the only two options.
100%.
This one here is from Works All Night. Says, who the absolute F told them to paint the motherfucking walls with envelopes?
Oh, shit.
That's true, too. I've seen that. Just stack of
Yeah.
envelopes just fucking laid up
Oh,
against the
yeah.
wall, standing upright. This one here is from Here Kitty Kitty. I couldn't say the name without saying it like that. This one here is from Here Kitty Kitty. 7890. I don't think I've ever read Here Kitty Kitty before. Welcome to the question of the week. Thank you for participating.
Kitty Kitty.
This one says, make sure the stuff on the bottom has label/PAL number visible. Put the box in the correct spot on the shelf. If it doesn't fit and you have to put it in an odd spot, make sure PAL is showing. Stop putting an ear reg that can't fit through the bulkhead door in front under the shelf. Load it in the back. Move the rest up. Man, nailed it. Like, that's exactly it.
That's
exactly it.
Very well said.
This one here is from Old Ball Bearded Bastard. Says, my loader is off with a torn meniscus. Oh boy, this isn't going to end well either. Says, best loader in the building without a doubt. So for his replacement, dues, for fuck's sake, take a fucking bath. Jesus Christ. Take a fucking bath, load multiple P-stops on the shelf together, and use the damn floor space. The don'ts? Loading random stops in my 50 to 100 piece bulk stop. Forgetting to pull the hazmat slip for the package you bury under everything on the floor, and purposely putting misloads in the load. When I find them, he acts so shocked as how it got there. If it was legal to punch a coworker, I would do it every fucking day.
Dude, he's purposely planting misloads in there, just rubbing his hands together.
Here's the thing. Now, I know this is, I'm not standing up for the preloader exactly, but I do know that management has been known to purposely place misloads in people's trucks to see if they report the misload on time.
Well, dude,
Like, they may purposely put one in your 2000
I can
shelf.
say from Old Bald Bearded Bastard's center manager, that could be very believable because I've heard some shit.
Yes. So just for a note for all you drivers, if you see a misload, don't be one of those people that waits till the end of the day because you're too lazy and they're going to tell you to run it off and you don't want to because you can get your ass in trouble. So send those misloads in if you guys find them. Next one is from Gibby the _Greek. This is a new one too. All these new people. Look at you, man. Love you guys.
Gibby
Thank you guys
the
for showing up. This one's from Gibby the Creek. Says, the don't misload. I'm the furthest route from the building, and every misload I get has to be delivered because it's quote unquote on my way back. And when I finish, on my way back when I finish it. Whoops.
Yeah.
The dude is give me a heads up with a text when they screw me over, just in case I may want to call off and go golfing with my buddies. I have to give a shout out to my loader, Holly, who has been preloading for 30 plus years and does a phenomenal job. She's a part of the reason why I bid on the route and will retire on it in 2 years, 7 months, and 2 days. But who's counting?
Well,
Yeah, shout out to Holly. 30 plus years doing preload.
Shout out
Those are the OGs, bro.
And to Gibby on 2 years, 7 months, and this was 4 days ago, so she is now about 2 years, 6 months and change. So
there you go.
There we go. A few steps closer.
This from here is from Nina76. All these new people. Yo, shout out to all you new people that came here to comment. Yeah, we love it. Thank you guys. Nina says lip load, and lip load. That was a method 15 years ago.
It definitely was. We called it snake loading where I'd preloaded, but same concept. It definitely was.
Absolutely. This one here is from PNW_UPS man says, don't touch the fucking handcart. I hate when loaders pull it out and load around the empty space, then leave it in the cab for me to do something with. Do give me misloads. for faraway towns. Do give me missiles for faraway towns. Make money,
shit.
money, money.
Cha-ching.
This one, last but not least, is from the Aztec. Says, the do, make good use of shelf space to keep smaller stuff on the floor. The don't,
Off the floor.
putting e-regs on floor with labels down. And please don't just throw random stuff on the back of the 6,000 and 8,000 shelves. Amen to that.
Amen to that as well, brother.
That was awesome, man. We got a bunch of good ones. Shout out to all you guys that, everybody that just chimed in.
Everybody that always responds into the new responders. Thank you all for that one. That was a good term for posting that late in the week. Damn, that was good. Yeah,
that was amazing.
Fuck
that
yeah,
was
man.
That was amazing. Love it. And shout out to all you new people here that are listening. If you're new here, welcome.
Welcome
to the show. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this and all that. So, let me see here. We had none on Facebook, but believe it or not, I posted this on TikTok on our story, and we ended up getting one reply. So maybe we'll start posting a little bit on TikTok too with these questions of the week, huh?
Tiki-talkie.
What'd you say?
I said tiki-talkie. Yeah.
Tiki-talkie, yeah.
Depending on how that would respond, damn. Sometimes them comments fucking tidal wave on that shit. But yeah, go ahead. What we got?
I just wish I could. Oh, there it is. He says, this one's from UPS 2007 Perez on TikTok. Says, don't be afraid of the drivers. We don't bite. Ask how we like our load. Tell driver I put this here and that there, and for this reason. Exactly.
That's very well said.
Yep.
Ask us how we like our load. God, why does fucking porn just always have to say what a term? That's what I was about to say. I was gonna come in with a seductive, but then more of it, I was like, yeah, I like that. That was good. That was well said.
It was
well said.
And that's the big one for me, especially the couple people that mentioned the hazmat labels being pulled, because on my route I have to drive by a DOT stop, and they usually don't mess with us like the DOT people. They usually don't wave us over. At least over here in New York, at least the one I drive by, they usually don't ever wave us over. Like, hey, come here. They're usually looking for the big rigs, tractor trailers, maybe oil trucks, stuff like that. But if there's ever a time that I do get pulled over and that hazmat is not in my hazmat pouch, that's a fine to me personally, and a fine to UPS. I think it's $1,000. I want to say it's $1,000 to me and $5,000 to UPS. I want to say something like that, but I would probably make my preloader pay for it.
It'd take them a while, but they could do it.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's a big one, anyways. But yeah, dude, that's all the responses from the question of the week. Luke, do we have anything else tonight?
I think we hit on all cylinders, man. I think that was a good. I'm glad for all. Obviously we welcome any of past guests to always reach out, and we always want to see how everybody's doing. But listeners, if you ever have anything that you want talked about and want said within the delivery realm, or else whatever it may be, don't be afraid to send it. And
hell yeah, screenshot that.
Yeah,
send it to our DMs.
That was Kim sending that. You put that on there, and I didn't have my phone much today, and I looked and I was like, holy shit, yeah, I got a response. So yeah, and anytime you want something, that's what
we're always looking for ideas.
The cardboard community, we try to connect it as much as we can. So yeah, feel free, and thank you.
Absolutely. So if there's anything we learned today on this episode, I would say it's to not work while off the clock. I mean, that's a given, but there's people that do it, obviously, and
right.
And time to stop that. They're looking to replace looking for layoffs for people. Stand your ground, file grievances when you have to, and we got to fight back on some shit. So
for sure.
And yeah, That's about it, guys. Again, like I said, if you're new here, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for checking us out. If you want to be a part of the Patreon family, go to patreon.com/AITDpod. You can find the link in the description of this episode. Click that link, head over there, see what we offer. See if it fits your guys, tickles your fancy, if you will. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Let's go USA this Thursday night. Let's get that W. Let's get the championship. And we'll see you all next week.
Later, everybody.